All right, so Alan, how do you feel about the fact that the NAR Code of Ethics, if somebody does something wrong, it's kept hush-hush?
Today, that is really kept quiet, but we're going to talk about it at the No BS Bar today here in Virginia Beach. Play together, work together.
So join us.
Let's have a great time. So, you know, I've been in the Realtor organization for a lot of years. I've served at every level.
Lead Realtor Blue.
Lead Realtor Blue. I've served on the ethics committees. I've served on professional standards. I've done a lot of things. And one thing, it's just never felt right, and I hate it. And I know some realtors don't know it, but I definitely know the consumer doesn't know this, and I just don't think it's right. We have a code of ethics, and we preach realtors have a code of ethics. That's one thing that makes realtors different than non-realtors, licensees, is that we have a code of ethics.
And believe it or not, real quick, the consumer, most of them don't know they're realtors, and there's licensees even.
They don't. But here's what I'm going to say. First of all, a piece of paper that says there's a code of ethics doesn't make one agent more ethical than another.
Absolutely not.
Doesn't. It means they have to go through a course every 2 years. Doesn't make them more ethical. It means they have to go through the ethics update. It means that they can read the code of ethics and sign off saying they'll comply with the code of ethics. It doesn't make them more ethical. But here's the real thing. It means that if they belong to the Realtor organization, they can get found in violation of the code of ethics. But guess what? This is just the astounding thing. If somebody gets found, the code of ethics process and proceeding and the hearing and the findings are totally confidential. It's like classified. You know, I was in the military and I had security clearances and everything, and it's like classified. The hearing panel members and the witnesses and the people that are part of the code of ethics, the finding, the person that's brought up on charges are sworn to secrecy.
Right.
So if I think that an agent in a transaction violated the code, and I can bring them up on charges,
Even if they're guilty.
and we go through the panel and they're found guilty in violation, nobody
Ever knows.
ever knows. It is kept hush-hush. It is it's like closed records. They can find them. They can make them go to a class. They technically could kick them out of the Realtor organization if it was bad enough, but that doesn't really happen very often. But so they can find them and make them go to a class, which is typically what happens if they're found guilty. But nobody else ever knows. So as a consumer, you could be dealing with somebody that's had multiple ethics violations and you would never even know it. And I don't think that is right. I think if somebody has it, now people can redeem themselves, but I do think it should be public knowledge for at least a couple of years.
Right.
After a couple of years, it could be just like DPOR. And I think DPOR should be a couple of years, but theirs is indefinite.
Yep.
But I think at least for a couple of years, it should be. So that's my opinion. I think what happens is NAR hangs their hat on, we have a code of ethics, and then they do their best. And why I think they do this? So they can say they have it, they can protect their own and keep their numbers up, because guess how NAR gets paid? By the number of agents they have. And this way they protect their own and keep their numbers up. And that's how they promote we're better than everybody else. When in real life, the code of ethics doesn't make you ethical.
Right. That's one biggest thing that absolutely drives me crazy about NAR.
Me too. And lately, they changed the code of ethics last year. They've got this one code of ethics, and we're not really going to get into it, but I actually think it violates the First Amendment. Yeah. Just my opinion.
Talk about that one again later, too.
So, thanks for listening to us today at the No BS Bar.